Sunshine FM. That was Ruby Gilbert there. Richer When I'm Dead. Makes you think, doesn't
Couldn't
it?
be any poorer, Dal.
Well, no, that's
Couldn't be any poorer. Now, I always make a blue when I'm doing interviews. I always make a blue and I forget to say hello. So I'm going to do it straight away. Our next guest is, baby animal to outlaw. That's the best way of describing him. It's a lot of people will know this man, Matt Cornell, and a couple of our listeners, Paige and Glenda, say hello straight away. So I didn't forget. They've said hello, Matt.
Oh, very good. And hello back to Paige and Glenda. How are you guys going up there?
Mate, very good. It's been a busy time. We've always got something coming up, and of course we're just a month away from the Urban Country Music Festival, and then something else, and then the following month, that's May, and then June we're into the Broadbeach Country Music Festival, where everyone gets another look at Adam Brand at the Outlaws.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good for us because, as you guys know, we just had a crazy start to the year and a big tour. But by the time Broadbeach sort of comes around, we would have had probably 3 or 4 months of not playing together. So we'll all be forward to getting together again.
But everyone gets a taste in the meantime of a bit of laytime. They get a taste of Matt Cornell by himself and the new single Feels Like Yesterday. Yeah,
it's out there, and I've got to tell you, it's getting a great response. The clip in particular, I think just the fact that I did it over in Austin, Texas, and it's a little bit different to everything else out there at the moment. But yeah, and I wanted to follow up after the Outlaws tour as well. I was so busy doing that. But it was important for me to follow up with something of my own. So, it's great to have a new single out.
Some colourful characters in the clip by the looks of it too.
Absolutely, and everyone keeps talking about the maniac that jumps in there and starts dancing with me. And I can tell you, there's nothing staged about this clip. Everybody that you see in it, they're just real people going about their day. And that guy, it was quite hilarious. When I could actually see him walking into the shot. Paul Stefanidis, who shot and directed the video, he's filming, and I could see this guy making a beeline for me, sort of walking behind the camera, and the next minute he's in there doing his thing. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun going over there. A little daunting as we didn't have many contacts before we got there. We just literally hit the ground running and worked really hard for 3 or 4 days. And the end result, I'm really proud of it.
I know what it's like. You're up on stage and you're singing, but it must be completely different swinging on a guitar in the middle of a public street or on a bridge, and next minute a bunch of runners run behind you, or people start pulling faces or do that. How do you keep I saw you broke into a smile a few times, but how do you keep a straight face when you realise that they're taking the mickey out of you?
Well, it was a little different over there because Austin, Texas is a real big film. I mean, it's obviously a big music town, but it's also a big film town. And so I think a lot of the Austinites are so used to seeing film trucks and people shooting. And one thing that was really evident was when we started shooting, especially on the footbridge, that was really early in the morning, like, 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning. All these people are running, but I reckon probably 80% of the people that were going past didn't even look at the camera. And I think they're just so used to seeing film production going on over there. Whereas I think if I was to do that in George Street in Sydney, I think every Tom, Dick and Harry walking past would be pulling a face and doing the rabbit ears behind my head and all that sort of stuff. But it was a little different over there. And it was actually a really good thing because I've had people say, "Oh, you had a lot of actors in the video." I was like, "No, I didn't. There's no actors. Well, these people are just going about their day."
Well, you talk about blooper reels when you have interviews and all that sort of stuff, and when you're doing film clips and that. So maybe you could actually hop down there somewhere in Martin Place or somewhere down there in Sydney or on some footbridge and do the whole thing again and and just see the difference between there and there. It'd be quite interesting. This is the Aussie version.
I know. It really would be different. And Paul, who shot my clip, he was making, he rang me like probably 2 weeks after we got back, and he was shooting stuff in Lane Cove. He had to shoot some footage for a real estate. It wasn't a music video. And he said, even doing that in Lane Cove, which isn't anywhere near as busy as, say, the city or where we were shooting in Austin, he said people were just standing in front of the camera and asking what he was doing. He said, here I am just shooting some footage of a building for a real estate, he said, and people were getting in the way. So they definitely do react different in Austin.
Mate, it's been great to catch up with you tonight. The people are going to be able to see you out and about. Of course, we did mention the Broadbeach if they want to catch up with the Outlaws, of course. But if people want to find out more about what's going on in the world of Matt Cornell, how do they do it?
Look, all the usual places. Definitely Facebook, my Facebook artist page, and all of my social media platforms are the same address, just Matt Cornell Music, and you'll find me.
So good to catch up with you, mate. It was some nice times over the last few weeks while you've been in Queensland, and mate, it's good to catch up again. We're going to go out with the single. If you haven't saw the film clip, folks, make sure you get on and have a look at it and see the things that we've been talking about. It's a bit of a hoot to see that, and you can see Matt getting around in a very nice car that I don't think's his either.
Mate, I fell in love with that car, and the dear old fella that owned it, you know, I just said to him, I said, mate, if I had a bit more money in my pocket, I'd be taking this thing home with me. It's a 1970 AMC Mark Donoghue Javelin. What a car. Beautiful.
Sensational, and it's a great single, folks. Here it is now. This is Matt Cornell and Feels Like Yesterday.
Thanks so much, guys.